My gosh, I put the mic down here and I feel like it really shows off my neck. I look like a freaking linebacker with this with the mic on my shirt here. We should check it out in a different view today. Oh my gosh, does that look beautiful? Just hanging out here in the backyard. And we got a great topic, a common topic today. Um, and it's we've talked so much about strengthening our our perception of the world, and I've talked about this many times about how I'm in this like state of this peaceful surrounding, and I don't deal with a lot of uh, frictions, state frictions, and like things that are really wearing on me. Um, Usually, the biggest frictions on my well-being are like how the market's doing, really, which is wild. Um, but the more I'm going to get out into the world and be doing things, I'm going to be reminded with this spectrum that we want to talk about today. And this is something that uh, I was looking back in my notes over the previous year. I don't know if it was investing or something else, but they talked about the four types of like ways to kind of like verbally express yourself and basically kind of figure out and perceive things, and we want to go towards a very healthy way. um, and the first one is the prosecutor, someone who is trying to change your mind. um, I've dealt with this. It's not a great feeling when you notice somebody's trying to change your mind. Uh, and I try to kind of take a step back from this too. I kind of like plant the seed. Sometimes I plant the seed. Sometimes I want to gear it more towards like factual things and real evidence, and that's the direction we want to go into. So we have the prosecutor, the guy that's trying to change people's minds, trying to win people over. Uh, in general social terms, that's not really the direction that I would want you guys to be in, where you're really trying to change people's minds. It's like, why would you even care about changing some people's minds that you've just met? So if you go into social interactions where you're trying to win people over, or trying to explain to them why you have high value or something like that, it's actually kind of defeating the whole purpose in a way. If you can do these certain things without being like directly showing these things, then it's going to be maybe what might work for you. Um, but we want to kind of get away, a little bit away from that, and then head over to, we got the politician. The politician is trying to get someone to like you, similar to the prosecutor. Um, these politicians, they're just spending so much time trying to win people over, and but they're not exactly, like a prosecutor trying to really change people's minds. It's a very controlling type thing. It's like, how I need to change this guy's mindset. Politicians are just trying to get you to like them. So you're still kind of like in that sort of mode where you're kind of get these people to like me. And I think that the funny thing about this is, like, whenever you watch this recent debate, um, these politicians bounce around these questions, and they don't actually, honestly, aren't even like trying to answer the questions a lot of times. Uh, and they're so focused towards hitting on some extremes. I see Trump was kind of trying to hit on some extremes. The cats are eating the dogs, you know. They're out there eating our pets, you know. And honestly, I think that's actually kind of true. I'm sure that there are. I think it seems like those reports can't just be. No, I don't think people just make up reports like that. So, whether or not they were Haitians or immigrants, I mean, maybe they just sort of seemed like they were, you know, Haitians or whatever. But either way, I feel like Trump actually fell into that sort of role where he was just trying to get people to like him, and Kamala Harris was like trying to find a way to relate to the people and relate to the majority of the audience, and that's why she won the debate. I think pretty easily, as much as people might say maybe debate content might be different, but hitting on the audience that the female audience, hitting on the female audience very strongly with her abortion type views. And then her economic view was that she wanted to strengthen small businesses, and from like the ground up, that would probably kind of strengthen employment and stuff like that, sort of finding the small businesses a little bit better, which does make sense because I'm sure there is a need for small businesses to grow. They say I think like the majority of businesses fail. Like I forget what the ratio is. It might be 2 out of 5 businesses fail in the first 5 years, and like half of them in 10 years, something like that. So obviously that could help keep some businesses alive. I like that idea. I'm not a really big fan of Kamala. I think that is a good start. I think there needs to be some other sort of direction to really strengthen the economy. But she actually answered that better than Trump. Trump was like, my economy was better. My economy, like, it was like, to me, it seemed he seemed like he was trying hard, and Kamala was over there smiling, and Trump got out alphaed by Kamala Harris. Really, it was her perception, the way she went into that debate, was way better than Trump. And I think when you look at the past debate with Biden versus Trump, Biden was the one trying to explain to everybody how he was able to get the economy to work well, and it was this tryhard, this guy that seemed to be under fire, which he is kind of under fire because he's the president, and now Trump was kind of the one under fire here. Even the interviewers weren't really on his side, which was kind of, I thought that was kind of they probably shouldn't have done that. But oh shit, I lost my place. But you can understand how being in this style, or if that's what you get into a lot whenever you're in social setting, if that's what you get into a lot, where you're trying to either control or prosecute ideas and change things, or you're trying to get people to like you, or as we go along this spectrum, the preacher. So we have the prosecutor, we have the politician, and now we have the preacher. And the preacher is the guy that is focusing on ideas. He's spreading ideas, and that is healthy. I think that's healthier than the other two, to be spreading ideas. And obviously preachers usually mean well. You don't really see too many people that are preaching and don't really mean well. So and as I hope that I don't seem just like a preacher, because I think there's a lot of stuff that I focus on that actually has been tested, and that's what the final area is, and that is the scientist. The scientist is proving his ideas, his theories, taking them from a hypothesis into testing and creating theories. And a lot of these psychology type concepts that I've been talking about have been tested by a lot of people, and even a lot of people in field that establish the right way of thinking. So I like to think that I'm like in between the preacher and scientist, where I'm not really practicing my theories as much. So I don't like, from my experience, my experience has been in like the past and things like that. I'm not really practicing these ideas to create experiences in the short term, besides being able to express myself to you guys. And so if you can get to that stage of this spectrum, which isn't very hard to do, it takes some self-reflecting. It takes being conscious of yourself to be able to sort of create these theories, these proven theories, instead of just coming up with ideas. Because a lot of times, everyone's really looking to kind of disagree with you, just because they don't. If you're around the type of people they just don't believe everything, which is a lot of the people around me, that are kind of focused on the factualness of things, even though they might not also even go through the motions of really proving their facts. So I got to keep people that call bullshit, which is fine. But whenever you call bullshit and you're like, you need to check your sources, they don't ever actually check the sources. They don't actually look at what the opposing view is and check the sources. They're just kind of calling bullshit. So a lot of times you have to have examples of this hypothesis being proven into a theory. So and I've always been fascinated with science and scientists and things like that. So it's I followed Neil deGrasse Tyson on YouTube, and he had a video recently in the past few months where he was talking about this other self-proclaimed physicist. I forget who he was. I think he was an actor, actually. And he started coming up with these theories, and what he wasn't doing was getting peer reviews by other scientists. And so even though he didn't get a peer review he didn't ask for a peer review, Neil deGrasse Tyson was like, well, I'm sorry, I have to review this because there's so many errors. And he really, the guy, the self-proclaimed physicist, felt like he was like under siege by Neil deGrasse Tyson. But Neil deGrasse Tyson is like, you got to understand, buddy, this is the science world where we actually do peer reviews on theories and things like that to establish if they're actually legitimate. So that was pretty fascinating, and he kind of tore up a lot of this guy's concepts that like a mirror will reflect things exactly. And Neil deGrasse Tyson's like, nothing is ever a reflection exactly. So there's different concepts and things like that where, like, he was just like, once again, this idea has been proven wrong many years ago by many different scientists and things like that. So it's obviously there's a lot of things that I've talked about that probably could be proven wrong in ways, but once again, psychology and social interaction and things like that is something that's kind of like always changing in a way. And so some things that might have worked 10, 20 years ago may not work as well now, especially whenever a lot of people end up reading the stuff and understanding the principles to it, and then whenever you go out and you're like using old principles of like trying to win people over and like pick up and stuff like that, a lot of times you'll run into people that know exactly what you're trying to do, and man, would that suck to be, put on the spot using canned material that has been used by hundreds of other people. So that's what I mean. Our past episode we talked about, maybe thinking about having some material that you can find a direction in where conversations go, so you're more comfortable in the interactions and whatnot. So you have to understand that these were proven to be good years ago, but they're proven to be good by the principles of it, not by the exact content of it. So once the content's used over and over and over again, it's overused, and you need to understand the principles of things. And I think that's one of like the foundations of this entire Mentoring 365 playlist, is establishing the principles and the foundation to these ideas, and understanding what direction you should be going into to find success, rather than just like, we have tons of examples. The examples aren't really supposed to prove the principles exactly. You're not always going to prove these principles right, but when you look at the principles themselves, you can figure out where it is that you're going wrong and figure out where you need to take things. And that's why the self-reflection is so pivotal. There's other videos we did on self-reflection and the ways of progressing through this system of finding experiences and establishing where the incorrect things and understanding the principles, so that boom, like right away you can understand where things are going wrong, and you can even change things up on the fly. And so and then all of a sudden there's once you just start the progress, I mean, you can create this like whole other way of seeing the world. I went through this massive transformation, and it may not be proven through experience, but mentally I've felt so good about things. Even whenever I woke up a little bit later today than I wanted to, I just like got up, get things going. I'm outside. I'm doing a video that I wanted to do. I did some content yesterday, but I was just focused on getting the ball rolling, and all throughout the morning researching the market while I'm dropping a Duke. Like I'm trying to do these things. I'm like trying not to lose out on any of my time, whereas like I could get up early and I could be going through my motions like really slowly and being satisfied with getting up early. I got up a little bit later and I'm just still on that mission. So and that's a comfortableness where I don't dwell on it too. And a lot of people will dwell on certain aspects of their life, and it really actually kind of kills your own vibe and your own way of perceiving the world. And so I've been kind of forced to establish this scientific mindset where I'm looking at all types of different theories and practicing on them, whether it's investing, whether it's trying to discover how to improve my state. And then I sort of I fall off in certain areas, and then I'm like, I was there before. I'm gonna try to recreate that. Whereas like, there was times whenever I would do these videos outside, and then I would go in and I would stream gaming content, and I was very much more talkative because I had already established that I was going to talk for 20 minutes before I do my video game content, and so I roll right into it, and boom, I pick up right where I left off, and so these certain positive aspects I'm bringing into my life, affecting me in general in a really positive way, affecting how I'm perceiving the world positively. I'm getting away from a lot of the fluff, a lot of the unnecessary things. I don't even want to watch. I don't want to hear anything about politics right now, even though I watched the debate because it was really funny to me. That's really why I watched it. I don't really care that much about the who's going to win the election, but I'm looking at things every single moment, every single thing as some possible things I can bring into my content, and so I'm seeing the world as useful instead of as just seeing the world and letting things go by me in a way. So I'm establishing. There's all these things around me that I can use, whether I'm using them in lyrics, I'm using them in my content, whether it's humor, whether it's for humor, whether it's for principles and mentoring 365, and it just created a snowball effect. I've created these beliefs. I'm practicing what I'm preaching. I'm giving you guys. I even come up with some recent beliefs here. I got right here. Here's a fun one for you guys you might not think about too often. I could tell myself more often if I can. I am together with everyone, humanity, and we are connected to Earth and the universe. Here's one just established over the stuff that I'm trying to do. I express my views of the world with humor and music ability. Everything is connected, either as a joke or other material content. My friendships are blessings, and those that have my back are my first priority. Because of how expressive I am, people will criticize me more and test me. That's a good example of a reason why you should have some core factualness to your, these hypotheses that you have. I don't need approval to guide my actions. I have a high internal locus of control, so I do what it feels right in each moment. I would rather be hated for being my true self than to be embraced as a lie. I remain true to myself than change for someone else. So those beliefs actually tie really well into what we talked about today. When we talked about the mindset of the prosecutor and the politician, those beliefs are kind of the opposite. A complete lack of need of approval, because I know what I'm trying to do. And so a lot of people suffer from this because they can't tell these things themselves. They can't rewire themselves, so they get rewired by other people. They get rewired by prosecutors, by politicians, by preachers, rewired by just ideas that they can't really even prove. Which I love. I love a lot of ideas that can be proven, though. I think that's great to have the preacher mindset, but also you need to incorporate the scientific mindset, because you're going to suffer in a way of, you might even go through a midlife crisis if you're just based off of ideas. Create the beliefs that actually make sense, that also create that strong mindset for yourself, guys. And then all of a sudden, I have it's really, I've been trying to learn singing, learning to be a singer in a way. I'm not really outcome oriented, but I'm putting in the time to learn each week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm spending an hour or more each day trying to get my vocal cords ready for my lesson on Wednesday. And then I've been able to find that those days that I practice my singing, the way I project myself and my voice has been extremely improved. Extremely improved. Because I've been practicing hitting low notes and such like that to the point where I can hit these. It just generally has improved my voice, and I never thought that was going to be the thing that I needed. I thought I needed to maybe take some sort of speech classes or something like that. But the singing classes have worked for me, and I've been able to improve my baseline audio output. And the more and more I'm trying to strengthen my ability to have my voice fluctuate, I think more and more my voice is going to just be more capable of even adding more enthusiasm and more changes of tonality rather than just kind of a very deep voice. And so it's something that's been gradually happening just because of my desire for progress. And I think progress is the enemy of depression. Establishing some progress is going to absolutely kill the things that are depressing you. And you're going to find ways to improve your life and be able to enjoy the nature. Get out there, guys. Get out there and enjoy the nature. It's beautiful. Oh, my. My brother's out in New Mexico. I think I've told, or somewhere out there. Who knows where he is right now? He's out there just doing all kinds of awesome stuff. And I'm a little bit jealous. I want to get out there. I want to explore. As you know, I am handicapped, so it's a little bit more difficult to get out there and enjoy the nature, but I can sit here and I can look at these wonders of the world. And just my backyard, I'm so appreciative of how it looks. I already told my dad I want to fund him to put a deck on the back of the house so we can really enjoy this view and just sit there together and enjoy this every day if we want to. And maybe get away from that television. So, guys, I appreciate you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. The channel is Anything Plausible. Playlist Mentoring 365. Check out my other videos. There's tons of great content there. I'm spewing out all this information. A lot of it has been proven through experience and experience of others. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.